From the wide range of content on the internet, I saw how big the world is. Merely on sports, there are sepak takraw, shin kicking, Eton 5, pole wrestling, wife carrying, trekking, cycle ball, fistball, 360 ball, squash, carom, board games, parkour, wingsuit, bull riding, ice climbing, motorcycle, bicycle tricking, surfing, snowboard, grass polo, ice hockey, rugby, American football, baseball, cricket, racquetball. The list goes on and on. In fact, there are about 8,000 indigenous sports in the world. There is no way for me to try all of them even just for once before I die. See, if you've spent enough time on the internet exploring, you'll find that there are a lot of interesting people in this world, living a completely different life than yours, from ancient to modern, from domestic to foreign. Gradually, I come to understand that life is an infinite open game. Like Minecraft, you design your own goals and find meanings for yourself. There are 7.7 billion more people in this world than the people you know. Or let me put it like this, 99.9999% of the people on this planet you will never even come across. So, I had watched a lot of documentaries on YouTube. There are the heads of human trafficking, prostitutes in Dongguan, a man who lived in an internet cafe for 4 years in Japan, the actors who exhausted their luck just to get a small role, the immigrant workers who have no identities, no skills, and no hope, or the young people in big cities get drunk each weekend, the Hong Kong people who live in the cages, the youngsters who had their lives ruined due to drugs, girls with only one leg, young entrepreneurs who already made millions yet still troubled by all kinds of things in life, people who got frustrated by love, middle-aged man who works every day to raise his family, some dude who makes a living by catching snakes, women doing plastic surgeries just to look like a certain celebrity. There are countless ways to live, there are countless options to choose, there are so many different cultures and different religions, all kinds of bizarre superstitions, endless genres of music, catering to different people's different tastes. People live in such strange ways that you find it hard to even imagine. When you realize that there are more ways to live your life rather than the current path you are taking, on some dark and lonely night, do you ask yourself, which one do I want? If you didn't die from studying, then study till you die. Why sleep so much while alive? You'll have a long time to sleep after you die. It's better to burn out than fade out. These are the models I used to use to inspire myself to study and strive. I can confidently say that in the past few years, every night I went to bed being a little more knowledgeable than that morning. In another word, I study or learn or grow each single day. After traveling to 24 countries and returning to my hometown in China, I realized how short-sighted of the people whom I grew up with still are. I've matured and grown a lot through constant improving myself. My old childhood friends and I no longer share the same level of perspective. Yet the most shocking thing is that they have no idea that there are a lot of things they are unaware of. They've never seen the outer world and Google. Their mind is stuck in that small circle and doomed to struggle within it for the rest of their lives. Sam Hunt depicted the same theme in his song, Break Up in a Small Town. He described a situation of being trapped into a small town, thinking that one girl is all that there is, not realizing the grand size of the world, not realizing there are so much more fish in the sea than you could possibly imagine. Luo Zhenyu mentioned a very interesting concept, fool index. Just think about how long ago you felt like a fool. For example, some people think they were a fool 10 years ago. Then his fool index is 10 years. Luo Zhenyu thinks he was stupid a year ago. Then his fool index is 1 year. If you think you're smart all your life, then your fool index is your age. The smaller the index, it means the better environment you are in terms of learning and growth. If you don't think you were a fool a year ago, it means you haven't learned anything in this past year. I always learn and study new things and explore the infinite possibilities there are in this world. During your youth, the most important thing is to cultivate your own independent personality. You must have your own ideas and thoughts. You must have your own values, your own interests, your own direction, and you must start to understand yourself. Thanks to the internet, large quantity of information are at our fingertips in all kinds of forms like video, audio, and text. One can travel through time to know what New York City looks like 100 years ago, and travel through space to know how a desert looks like on the other side of the Earth. Frankly, anywhere in the world, and any time in history can be reached by the internet. The world is much bigger, richer, and more diverse than we perceive. So try to take as many samples as you can while you're still young. Your first years of adulthood aren't about earning money. They're about getting acquainted with the universe of possibilities. Kevin Kelly spent years traveling the world before he settles down to write books. Be open and receptive. Find out clearly what you like and what you don't. Choose your racetrack before going to one. And once you become informed, you will never be the same. You'll find it hard to go back to the old you, just like freedom, because freedom is such a thing. Give you some and then take it away is much more dangerous than never giving you at all. Here's the concept of comfort zone. Hopefully you know already. The 3 areas in the graph represent your familiarity level of the things you're doing. The innermost circle, the comfort zone, there is nothing difficult for you. All are the things you are used to. You are in a psychological comfortable state. In the middle layer, the learning zone is a combination of some challenges and the things you are good at. It strikes the right balance where you feel a little uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable. The unexpected things keeps you interested, and you always go into a flow state. The outermost circle, the panic zone, are all matters and knowledge that are too much beyond your ability. Psychologically, you feel very uncomfortable and upset. You collapse, you quit, you lose interest, you give up. I am a person who doesn't like to settle. I spend the majority of my time in the learning zone. As soon as I find myself in the comfort zone, then I'll immediately push myself out into the learning zone. There surely comes disadvantages of constantly being in the learning zone. I feel like constantly standing on my toes. Sometimes I feel tired and mentally exhausted. But if I look back at my life, reviewing the things I did and the achievements I made, such a long way I've made, I will tell myself. I had written a memorable life story for myself. If you keep learning and studying, eventually, somewhere along the way, you'll come across this mentality of overwhelming anxiety and stress because you realize that there's too much knowledge to learn. There's so much content that even if I spent my entire lifetime till I white my hair and old my body, I will never finish everything. Not even close. Then what's the point of keep pursuing knowledge if you will never even cover 1% of it? Well, fortunately for us, a famous Chinese scholar from 100 years ago called Lu Xun had noted this mentality as well and had given a satisfactory answer to this question. He said, 怕什么真理无穷，进一寸有进一寸的欢喜. It means have no fear of the endless truth. There's joy in improving each inch. Shift your mindset into, I'm glad that I pushed the knowledge boundary just a little further. Another frustrating thing to experience along the way is the following question. I have read many books, but have then forgotten most of them. Then what is the meaning of reading? Or I have read so many books and learned so many things already, yet I'm still a loser. Well, when I was a kid, I ate a lot of food, and now I can't remember what I ate, but I'm certain that some of them have grown into my flesh and bone.